All right, it's time for Off the Bench Mailbag. You send in your questions, and we answer them. If you were picking a fantasy college football team only from the SEC, who would your top picks be this year at QB, RB, wide receiver, and defense? Derek Roussel wants to know.
I think QB and wide receiver is pretty easy. You go Tua Tagovailoa, and Judy won the Blitnikoff last year, right? And now he's back.
That's not saying his name. Judy.
Jared Judy. So go with him, which that hurts on both those. Running back, we're going to go with DeAndre Swift from Georgia. 1,000-yard back last year, rushed for 10 touchdowns, no Holyfield, less receiver options. I think Swift's going to be big. And then I'll actually take LSU's defense for this fantasy team. I'm a believer that this year they are going to get back to the old elite defenses of like the 2012 type era.
Yeah, Justin Ross would be my wide receiver from Clemson, who chopped up Alabama last year in the national championship game. Some type of Trevor Lawrence or Tua Tagovailoa at the starting the starting quarterback. It's tough to get away from these high-end teams when you talk about players, right? I mean, Travis Etienne would be a good selection at quarterback. I looked at DeAndre Swift, of course, from Georgia. They got all types of names out there, but this Clemson defense, to me, with what they have to replace and the way that they recruited, could be sneaky good. But I'm with T. I think LSU's defense is going to be one of the tops in the country, just when you look at the depth. Clemson lost a lot of frontline talent, all three of those defensive linemen being first-round picks last year. But they've recruited at such a high level, you wonder what the turnover is really going to be. But this seems like the year as far as the upperclassmen with a good mix of younger guys for LSU that makes sense defensively. So I'm with you, T. I would draft LSU's defense in a college fantasy draft.
What is your favorite ESPN show?
Highly questionable. Are we talking about a TV show, I'm guessing?
I think we go TV.
Yeah, highly questionable.
I say highly questionable.
Easily. It's short.
I don't know.
I actually really enjoy, when I was on maternity leave, I watched a lot of shows. I actually really like watching Le Batard.
Yeah.
So being able to see all the background stuff is really fun.
So I DVR their radio show every morning, and some days I don't watch it. Some weekends I'll binge on it. But you go in there and get great ideas.
Yeah, I like listening, but being able to see, I guess, as a producer, being able to watch their producers work, it's funny because I'm like, oh, I know what you're doing.
Lev's Local Hour yesterday is a must listen. If anybody is a subscriber to their podcast, you know that they podcast and upload their Local Hour. Yesterday was their last day on the ticket down in Miami, and Le Batard is full Lebs. Check it out.
Have any of
Shout out Poppy.
You guys, or I guess me included, ever had the Moscona roll from Ichiban?
I will never get that roll. That sounds weird.
I would eat it. I just don't know what's in it. Does anybody know what
I've never had it, but I've heard it's real good.
Yeah, snow crab. I'll eat snow crab, whatever.
All sushi's good.
But I've never had it, so no. Let's see. Is it actually named after him, or is it just a...
No, it's named after him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's named after him. Where's our sushi sponsor?
No.
Who wants us to sling some raw fish? Hit me up, man. WOTB's open. I love sushi.
Just want a good old Moscona roll right now. 5:30 on a Tuesday.
I mean, the food naming potential to go along with T-Bob is literally unlimited. Like, there's so much you could do there. Let's roll on.
Okay. Carly Woodard wants to know, wings, chili, or nachos for the first game day?
I'm going wings there just because I'm not a fan of chilies, and
I love chili cheese dogs, and I like chili but wings are the best out of those three.
I think about like tailgating or even being at the game, like you want things that are not messy and things you can do with your hands. I feel like nachos are maybe the least messy of those three options. Like you're not going to get it all over you. It's not going to get all over your face, but they're still going to be delicious.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can
nachos?
follow you down.
I
don't know if I can follow you down.
I guess with a beer.
Wings and chili?
I mean, you know how I feel about your opinions, Riv, so I was just going to back off this one.
Wait,
but if Jordy's in on it, I'll smash it.
Wait,
I agree.
Are you saying wings aren't messy?
I would eat a Frito pie with chili.
Okay, chili not messy?
A Frito pie with chili above nachos.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Well, I mean, as far as if we're trying to
Middle
not
East
keep it
guy,
messy.
Ohio guy over here.
My experience is just if you're going like tailgating, cleanliness is not really like top of the priority.
For me, it is for sure.
I like to. I don't mind eating messy food, but I would be prepared going in with like baby wipes or something to really get clean afterwards, and I'd be solid. Then you'd be good to go. Give me them wangs.
This is kind of a strange question. I didn't read through it until just now. What's worse,
Yeesh.
claiming your cocaine is bird poop or cheating during a drug test and getting caught because you are pregnant as a male.
So allow me to get a
Couple
little
of
context
backstories.
to these situations.
Couple of backstories.
So the Georgia Southern quarterback who's suspended for the LSU game 1, got pulled over. He had a white substance on the hood of his car. He tried to claim it was bird poop. Ends up it's cocaine.
Got it.
Interesting tactic saying
On the
bird poop.
windshield?
That's actually a good play.
Well, but like, is it though? Because they don't look similar. But you know what? I've thought about it more because I was like, why didn't you go with like sugar or any white powder? But it looks like he apparently tried to pour it on his windshield and then start up the wipers to dissipate it, which I don't hate. It's a pretty strong play, and I thought about it more and like.
After the college move.
Dude, after the cocaine gets wet, maybe it does look more like bird poop, okay? So I'm like, okay, I said, you know what, maybe
I just want to know why it's on the windshield.
Right here.
You're throwing it at the car?
He's getting pulled over.
But why is it on your windshield?
Well, because if you throw it out the window, they're going to find, like, there's countless examples of them catching people on camera throwing stuff out the window. So I don't know, Nathan. I can't defend him too much here. But, and then the other guy, I can't remember who it was exactly, but he tried to use someone else's urine and failed the test because it came back that he was pregnant. It was his pregnant girlfriend's.
What a terrible
now
thing
that
to
right
happen
there
to
would
you.
probably be more something I would do. So I'm going with that because it feels true to myself.
Yeah.
All right, what is the worst injury you've ever had?
Achilles.
Broken heart.
Like, how did it happen? You gotta
Sorry to hear that, Nate.
Pick up basketball game.
okay. T-Bob?
I think the ACL was the most annoying to recover from. I was trying to cover a punt against South Carolina, and nobody hit me. My knee just exploded because I'm fat.
I was doing one of those pictures with a bunch of girls where you jump up in the air.
No.
And I threw one of my hands down instead of both up, and I kicked my pinky just perfectly and shattered it.
Wow, that's really stupid.
I had to tell that
crazy.
story, and I saw like 4 doctors that day, and I had to like retell the story every single
Oh,
time.
toe touch gone wrong.
No, I've never really had like
Brutal.
I've never like broken anything or anything like that.
Really?
No.
How old were you?
Bro, that
That
just
was a
means
couple
you're
years
due.
ago, you know.
Oh,
Don't say that to me.
Good luck, Nate.
Ugh.
Does the legalization of medical marijuana pose a problem for athletics? Andrew Lutz asked.
I think it changes the recruiting tactics. For sure.
Whoa, okay, I was not expecting this. How so?
I mean, LSU is going to be
Yes.
LSU and Southern are the grow places for the medical marijuana. If you don't think
Does
that
that
you can
start today?
recruit
Does that
to
start
that,
today?
I mean, if you want to go into business,
Oh, I might
Think
actually
about-
break my arm today.
think about
Okay.
think about the demographic and what you're recruiting and how much weed and marijuana is prevalent. Remember, Tyrann Matthews
Yes,
said once he
yes.
got caught and once everything got thrown out, when he was growing up, his grandmother was rolling up joints doing the laundry.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, like it's a culture. It's something it's like coffee around them.
And look, I'm excited because I count myself in that number, and I think that it should be legalized out of the country. That's great and everything, but you do get hardcore drug tested at LSU. So I don't know if you can use that as a recruiting point because LSU's
and now you're growing
compliance.
marijuana on campus.
I know. So I guess my thing is I don't think it's a problem, Lutz, because the rules are going to remain the same. Like, it's going to remain illegal, so you're still going to have to not smoke. But yes, that does highlight the absurdity of it all, that you're going to be growing on campus. But I mean, that's the same thing in the NFL. You have NFL players living in states, but whatever.
Right.
You have citizens throughout the country living in states where it is legal, and yet they are not allowed to smoke. So, but that goes in like soon, right? Like
Yes,
today or
absolutely,
tomorrow
yeah. I
or
mean-
something.
Okay, a few more questions
Shout out.
here. It was recently reported that Mike Leach wears cargo shorts like Harbaugh wears khakis. What are your opinions on cargo shorts?
They look bad and they make you look bad.
There's
Yeah.
just you don't need to carry that much stuff around.
Too fluffy.
Like, that's what they're for. They've got lots of pockets to
Yep.
carry all your things. That's why you have a fanny pack, T-Bob. I just think there's just not that much stuff you
Oh,
need to
look
carry
who's coming
around.
over. Yeah, there
If you are, I think there are jobs where you could justify cargo shorts.
That's fair.
If it's hot outside
fair.
and you got to carry tools or something.
But to
But I don't think we're
casually just
talking-
wear a cargo short.
I can't do.
talking
I used
about,
to.
like,
I used to all the
painting a
time.
house.
I was a huge cargo short guy
Look,
in the
my
past.
dad wears cargo shorts all the time, and I'm like, man,
Cargos
you're
and
not
Crocs?
carrying- no, that's Matt Flynn. That's Matt Flynn.
My body type though
Cargos
just
and
doesn't
Crocs.
work with any
Must be the
shorts.
starting quarterback.
Any shorts that go below the knee don't look good on me, and those you look squatty. I'm not really a fan.
Cool. Last question. How hard is it to beat a good team twice in one season, and how much better of a chance does LSU have to beat Bama in a neutral site
man.
playoff game than the November 9th showdown?
It's impossible. I mean, T-Bob can speak to this better than anybody. I mean, the 2011 game when you guys pulled out of Tuscaloosa, what was the relief you felt in beating a great
Yeah.
team, thinking to yourself that night, we never have to see them again?
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
And then you
it's not
saw
a
him
good feeling.
again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to beat a good team twice because look at when two great teams match up. It essentially becomes a coin flip. Look at the Auburn-LSU game last year. Like any of these close games, if you play that game again, it can quite easily go the other way because there's only a handful of plays that decided that outcome. So, like, in a sport like football where it is all about the result, even though it can go either way, you're so happy when you get that first result, and then you have to – it's why what the Saints did was it 2 years ago now when they 3-0'd the Panthers, including the first round of the playoffs? Like, that's wild. That is wild to me.
This past year, they played Philadelphia the third, like week 15, week 14, and turned around and had to play them in the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. So the Saints have been really damn good at that. But, yeah, it's very hard. I don't know how to attach, like, a number to it.
All right, there's your mailbag segment. We went through the bed.
We went through the entire bag.
Wow.